Coming inside the coach's room, I'm Petey. Today we're going to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-4 win over the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Toronto needed a good start. That was all about playing well at home and getting a quick start against a team that can roll over you. And they got just that. So let's go to the video and check out how this game went and some of the little details you might have missed. So this one starts off 1-0 with the Toronto Maple Leafs just 30 seconds into the game. Now let's take a look at this. As the puck comes over the blue line, it's a 2-on-5. It's a 2-on-5. Florida should shut this down, right? Especially when you're going against Gustav Forsling, a guy that can shut this play down, shut Pacioretty down, and this play's over, and they go back the other way. But one of the things Forsling does, and we used to call this throwing a flag, when you put your stick up in the air when you're defending. His stick's got to be in the ice. If his stick is stick on puck against Pacioretty, this play is dead, but it's not. His stick's up in the air, and Pacioretty makes a great move along the wall. He's able to protect the puck, keep the puck, and throw the puck up along the wall to relieve pressure because all of the Florida Panthers are below the circles. So you got 5 guys below the circles. That means there's only one place where there's room, and that's at the top of the ice. So Pacioretty rims the puck up top, right to Nylander. Nylander just jumped over the boards on a line change. He's got a full head of steam going. He's going full speed against Rodriguez. So as he comes down, Rodriguez can't make the angle on him because he's got so much speed going. He can't turn on him and he can't get the angle on him. So Nylander able to blow by him along the wall. And the rest of the play comes in front of the net. Tavares does an outstanding job at battling for this ice along with Jones, trying to stay in front of the goalie. He does that. Nylander puts it through a crowd, but I want to show this one from behind and the job that Tavares does, because he does a great job on the first 2 goals and doesn't get an assist. He's battling with Jones. He holds his spot, and right when that shot is coming from Nylander, Bobrovsky cannot see a thing, has absolutely no idea what's going on. Great job by Tavares. This is 1-0 Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's see what happens on the 2-0 goal for Toronto. Halfway through the first period, Florida's got possession of the puck below the goal line, and they throw the puck out blind from behind the ice, and here comes the Toronto Maple Leafs. The big thing with Toronto, what they did in this game is they were very good off of the rush, and they got their defensemen to join in, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson joins in. This is what makes this an odd man rush as they get up to the blue line. It's 3-on-3 with a back checker right now. You got 3 Panthers. You got a back checker on the Panthers. Everything looks okay again. You've got all 3 lanes covered as you're coming back through the neutral zone. Everything's fine until it isn't. And here's what happens. As Oliver Ekman-Larsson prepares to shoot, the back checker has committed himself to the puck carrier, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but the defenseman right now is staring at Oliver Ekman-Larsson. This is what we call puck watching, and that's fine because everything's going to still end up okay. We've got the net drivers covered. Sturm's got Tavares driving the net. Everything is fine. Everything is going to be fine for Florida here. But nobody's got Nylander. Nobody's picking up Nylander as the late player into the zone, as the 4th man coming into the zone, and that's where this thing breaks down. Oliver Ekman-Larsson throws it off the pads, a pass off the pad, hits Bobrovsky, bounces right to the front of the net. But here's where the play that makes the play happens. Schmidt needs to get behind Tavares and Sturm. He just needs to get behind Tavares and Sturm. He'll pick this puck up, and he'll go up the ice. But he can't because of another outstanding play by John Tavares and his ability to pick 2 players and pull them out of the way so that they cannot defend, leaving Nylander all alone for this one, and he makes this one 2-0. That's 2 great plays by Tavares. 2-0, no points for Tavares. 2-1, Florida comes back on the power play. Tkachuk's able to deliver this puck to the point. Jones puts it through a crowd. It's 2-1. 3-1 Leafs. Let's see what happens on the 3-1 goal. As Carlo rims this one around, this is all about a pinching D. Kulikov pinches deep into the zone and along the wall. And that's fine, as long as you have a forward covering up, and they do. Brad Marchand's covering. You're fine. You got a forward covering in the back, but then Kulikov falls. And not only does he fall, he brings down his teammate. So now you're down 2 players, but here's the play. Marchand is covering for the defenseman Kulikov. He sees all of these blue jerseys. He knows his teammates are in trouble. He's got to look and he's got to recognize the situation and he's got to pull out. He has to back up and defend this like a defenseman. But as so often happens with a forward, he doesn't do that. He dives in and tries to get the puck away from the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that leaves Reilly all alone. Reilly's able to skate this puck all the way up the ice, beats Bobrovsky. It's 3-1 Toronto. So let's go to the 4-1 goal. So we're off into the second period. Won't spend much time on this one either. It's a face-off won by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Tanev just throws this puck at the net, bounces, takes a funny hop, through the infield and beats Bobrovsky. That's 4-1. Florida makes this one 4-2 in the third period. And they started to get a little push in the third period and play a little bit more like we're familiar with the Florida Panthers, but this starts with a turnover. Lawton throws this blind backhand pass towards the front of the net, and it's picked off by the Florida Panthers, and it's quickly moved up the ice. This is how they're able to beat the forecheck pressure and get up the ice so quickly, by making that quick pass. But some more things happen. Oliver Ekman-Larsson just misses the puck as it's passed quickly as Florida enters the zone. But it's a really good stop up by Marchand. Marchand stops up, and he beats Benoit by stopping up, and he continues the puck moving down the wall. And as the puck gets down the wall to Florida, looking behind. Jarnkrok right there with Lucic. He's got him. He's covering Lucic. He's got him one-on-one. Just take your man to the net. Everything's fine. But he doesn't. He loses him as when Lundell stops up, and he stops up on OEL. OEL gets a bad angle, and he misses him. And unfortunately, he can't pitch Lundell to the boards. Lundell beats him. And now we talk about puck watching again. This time it's McCabe, and Jarnkrok. They're watching the puck carrier along the wall. They're not focused on what's happening in behind them. And unfortunately, the puck goes to Lucic, tips it past the goaltender, Woll, and now this is 4-2, and thinking we might have a hockey game. So now it's 4-3. This is going to be 4-3. What happens? First, puck bounces over Woll's stick, and Florida is now first to the puck, and they deliver the puck to the net. And like Florida does when Florida's playing like they do, they recover pucks. It's a good puck recovery by the Florida Panthers, but it's good defending. They're keeping them to the outside. They don't allow them to get to the net. They're on defensive side in front of the net. This play is working out very good right now for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're keeping to the outside. Everything is fine. But this is a really good play by Schmidt up at the top for the Florida Panthers. He fakes the slap shot. When he pulls up to fake the slap shot, he freezes Lorentz in front of the net. Lorentz gets flat-footed, and he actually starts to go down on one knee like he's blocking the shot. And as he does that, Schmidt's able to put this puck across to Balinskis, and he just drives the lane. Lorentz can't catch him. He's got a clear look all the way in. And Lucic gets just enough of Tanev, so Tanev can't get over into the shooting lane either. He's able to put this by Woll, and now it's 4-3. But there's the play that makes the game. This is a mental mistake by the Florida Panthers that costs them this game. And when you look, we have to back this one way up, all the way back when Florida's about ready to break out. Kulikov and Mikkola need a change. There's 6 minutes left in the third period. Two defensemen go off for a change. And they go to the bench. And as the play comes up the ice, Florida gets the puck in, and they make an attempt at the net. And they just miss connecting on the play, driving the net. And now Toronto's got full possession. Florida's got 3 players below the goal line. This is a bad spot to be in if you're the Florida Panthers. You got 3 forwards below the goal line, and you've got 2 forwards of the Toronto Maple Leafs ready to break up. And Knies sees the open ice, and he goes. Now, here's where we talked about diving in again. Schmidt can't go. Now, Schmidt can't go, 1, because he's the only defenseman. They changed 2, and unfortunately, when 2 went off, only 1 came on, and it was Schmidt. Only 1 defenseman made the change. Somebody was sleeping on the bench, and only 1 defenseman came on. So now this is the 5-on-4. They've been playing a 5-on-4 for over 10 seconds now. So now what happens? So Schmidt dives in. He can't dive in. He sees that there's 2 Maple Leafs here. This is a 2-on-1. The puck's all the way down here. He can't go. He can't dive in, but he does. But a really good play by Marner. And Marner's able to get to this puck first and just slap it. Slaps it out into the neutral zone, and it gets on Knies' stick, and Knies is off to the races. And unfortunately for Florida, now is finally when they realized, after everybody's yelling and screaming, that we only have 4 players on the ice, and they jump on too late. Knies is already gone, and this one is 5-3 with 6 minutes to go. Instead of being 4-3 and giving Florida 6 minutes to potentially get that tying goal, it's 5-3. That's a huge mental mistake by the Florida Panthers. They are able to make it 5-4 by hard work by Barkov down low below the goal line with the pulled goalie. Verhaeghe makes the pass out, and this one hits 2 Leafs. This is a nice stick by Tavares trying to break this play off, and then it ramps up Carlo's stick up over the shoulder of Woll. But this is with the pulled goalie, and Florida's able to make this one 5-4. And that's how this one ends for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But I want to look at a couple more things before I move on that the Toronto Maple Leafs did exceptionally well in this game. And they flipped the tables on the Florida Panthers. Some things Florida does traditionally very well that they didn't do very well in this game. And the first is forechecking. Toronto did a great job of getting on pucks early and hard and stopping pucks and keeping them in the zone. And what that allowed them to do is get open area and open ice for their best players. And this is Tavares early in the game. and he's got this much open ice. This is just after the goal. And Florida's giving up this kind of ice on a forecheck. And with Toronto, this is a team that always has been able to find spots in the house with their best players getting shooting opportunities like this. And this all was created off of the forecheck and a great scoring chance by Tavares. And you're going to see it again, how good they did on the forecheck, where Knies is able to take Jones, separate him from the puck, and get it to Matthews again. Part of the core four, wide open in the slot, giving up opportunities like this. Toronto was able to do that off of the forecheck and generate offensive opportunities. You're going to see it again as they're able to separate the Florida defense from the puck, get in hard, first on the pucks, make a good play, and then they use the back end. And Reilly's able to deliver us another one of their top players getting an opportunity early off of the forecheck. So Toronto did a great job. They're going to need to do more of this in round two, and Florida's got to get out of their zone clean. They're going to have to beat this forecheck and get out of pressure so they don't spend all this time defending against a high-skilled Toronto team. One other area to keep an eye on, Florida smothers in the neutral zone. They keep their opponents with tight gaps, and they don't allow them to get speed through the neutral zone. We already saw Toronto score 3 goals off transition speed through the neutral zone. So Florida did not able to control that in the neutral zone. They were not able to shut down Toronto and their speed through the neutral zone. But let's look at the other side. Let's look what Toronto did through the neutral zone. And this is something that Florida is exceptional at. They put pressure from below and above. So Toronto is coming from behind with the back check and the back check pressure, but they also have pressure coming from above. So they're pressure from below, pressure from above. There's absolutely nowhere for the Florida Panthers to go, and Florida turns the puck over and Toronto's going back the other way. And it happened more than once. You see, this time it's Matthews, hard back pressure. And when you get that hard back pressure, you got to make a quick decision. You've got pressure from below, pressure from above. And when you get that kind of pressure and a really good stick by Benoit, and then the puck is going back the other way. And one more time on a 2-on-2 rush, and you're going to see Tkachuk. Tkachuk had 0 shots in this game. Zero shots in this game. Toronto was able to defend him, and they were also able to play between the whistles against Florida. And that's something that was important for them as they got 5 power plays in this game. And you can see Oliver Ekman-Larsson taking a stick. Great 2-on-2. Florida wasn't able to put any pressure in off of the rush. Great back check. And again, this play dies without a shot on net. Toronto did a great job off the forecheck and through the neutral zone. But we talk about those special teams. The Toronto Maple Leafs 5-forward power play went 0 for 5. It's the first time all season, regular season or playoffs, when they had 5 or more power plays that they were unable to score. And you could see the pressure that the Florida Panthers were able to put on them at the blue line and how quickly they attacked the puck after a play was made in the offensive zone for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They were quick on pucks. They closed gaps. They were good sticks. And they were very aggressive on this penalty kill, not allowing Toronto to get opportunities on their power play. This is an area of the Toronto Maple Leaf game that's going to have to get better in the game too. You can see block shot by Barkov and good sticks. Matthews can't get a hold of it. Reilly, another block shot by Barkov. They did a really good job of protecting this area of the ice and not allowing those high-skilled forwards of the Toronto Maple Leafs to get great chances on the power play. It was high pressure. Here's Forsling putting on pressure, and you see Jones quick pressure. It's quick double up, quick on the wall by Luosterainen, and Toronto just doesn't get an opportunity. And when they finally do, the shot gets blocked again. Toronto's going to have to find a way to score on the power play. It's going to be important as this series continues to drag on. Next up is game 2. Florida's going to have to find their game earlier. They're going to have to be quicker on pucks. They're going to have to be ready to play when this puck drops and play Florida Panther hockey. That means quick on the forechecks. That means smothering in the neutral zone. And that means quick plays with good sticks in the defensive zone. For Toronto, it's more of the same. Hard on the forecheck. Get your best players to be your best players and to find open areas of ice in behind the Florida Panthers defense and get up the ice quick. Let the puck do the work, get through the blue lines, get through the neutral zone with speed, and we'll see what happens in game 2. The biggest question, who's going to play goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs? And is there a suspension? Doesn't sound like it for Bennett on the elbow to Stolarz. Will he be good enough to play in game 2, or will be the starter and hold the fort down for the Toronto Maple Leafs? All those questions will be answered soon as game 2 rolls along. Just want to say thanks for coming inside the coach's room and watching these video breakdowns. There's going to be more of these as the playoffs continue on all of this series, so make sure you're subscribing to Inside the Coach's Room on YouTube. I'm Petey. Thanks for coming inside the coach's room, and we'll see you at the rink.